So you guys might witness history at some point. I love it.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today we're diving into Kill Tony, the #1 live podcast in the world where aspiring comedians get the chance to perform 1 minute of stand-up after drawing their name from the bucket of destiny. Now, this show isn't just a comedy podcast, it's actually a crucial platform that's shaking up the comedy scene in the best way possible, and I'm here to break it down for you. Let's get into it. Now, for those of you who live under a rock and next to a pineapple... Oh, sorry, wrong rock. Kill Tony was created by Tony Hinchcliffe, a comedian with an incredible backstory. Tony grew up in the rough parts of Youngstown, Ohio, raised by a single mom. Shout out to all the single moms out there, by the way. We appreciate what you do. Tony's early life was all about using humor to get through tough times and navigating social situations. He found inspirations in legends like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Don Rickles. Now, just like Tony, I myself grew up in rough areas in my childhood. If you're familiar with the culture in those areas, you know that roasting is a big part of it, and you've got to stay on your toes. And hopefully those toes are covered with some nice sneakers, because that's usually what's targeted. So I can definitely understand how these early years of his development helped mold the comedic genius he is today. Tony's journey into comedy took him to Los Angeles, where he had to hustle through open mics in small clubs, just like many comedians do. His big break came when he started working at TheComedyStore, an iconic club where stars like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, and Roseanne Barr often performed. Now, really quickly, just to pay homage to such a renowned venue, the Comedy Club was initially opened by Sammy Shore and Rudy DeLuca. About a year after, Sammy and his wife Mitzi divorced, and in the settlement, Mitzi took ownership of the club. Now, Mitzi's leadership was transformative for the venue. She had a keen eye for talent and a deep understanding of comedy, which allowed her to nurture and promote many young comedians who went on to become major stars. Under her management, the Comedy Store became a pivotal venue in the comedy world, known for its role in developing new talent and fostering a unique comedy culture. Her influence and vision were critical in establishing the club's reputation as one of the most important comedy clubs in the United States. On another side note, Sammy and Mitzi are the parents of Pauly Shore, who you might know from the movie Encino Man, starring Brendan Fraser.
But you like that, right? Because you're a caveman. Cool, buddy.
Growing up as a 90s kid, this movie was always on TV, so I've got a lot of memories and nostalgia with it. But I digress. Tony began as a door guy, soaking up wisdom from the pros and sharpening his skills, especially in roasting, something he's now famous for. Another interesting fact is that he actually became known at the Comedy Store for insulting other comics and audience members during shows. Fast forward to June 10th, 2013, and Kill Tony was born.
Push. 1, 2, 3. Good.
Now, an interesting fact about the show is that it wasn't until episode 3 that Tony officially decided to call the show Kill Tony. So this first clip might be a bit long, but it's totally worth it. In it, Tony actually explains why he started Kill Tony in the first place. It's really important because it shows his genuine desire to help other comedians succeed. It gives us a deeper understanding of the show's purpose and Tony's dedication to fostering new talent.
I thought you were going to explain. You said you... All right. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late.
We were going to talk about it. Me and you were talking about it. We were talking about
this thing's already a hit.
Yeah, that's right. That's hilarious.
So, yes, I'm excited about this. This is fun. We have a different concept that I decided to go with here. I got really high one night, and I had the idea that if I'm going to do a podcast on a Monday night at the Comedy Store in which there's 50 people that a lot of people don't know around the country and stuff, that, you know, like 50 or 60 comedians come here every Sunday and Monday at 6 o'clock.
It's a mob.
It's unbelievable. And everybody's been part of it at some point. Every great comic, I mean, you read whatever book, no matter how many decades ago or whatever, and they talk about a Sunday or a Monday night here, you know, signing up at 6. I mean, the system hasn't changed at this place forever. So when you set a Monday 8 o'clock podcast, I'm like, how can we use the natural resource of this building to our advantage? Because there's so many comedians that want to do so much. I mean, and when you don't get a spot downstairs, it's just like a mind fuck.
Yeah.
because you wait for an hour.
You
and
pay for parking.
Right.
You usually have to like do something like miss something or do something just so you can make it there, like leave work early. I mean, I remember trying to do it. I gave up pretty quick.
Right.
Because I mean, it's like, I don't know, the other comedy clubs are even worse. I heard like the Laugh Factory, where people are starting to line up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And you don't get on.
And it's a random lottery. They just pick 15 random, like maybe a few, a couple employees owe a favor to or think they're really funny, and when they're making the lineup or whatever, they're like, we got to give this guy a spot. He's been hilarious for 5 or 6 years. We've seen him, so. But other than that, it's very random. And I used to ride my bicycle here all the way from Burbank. I would take the train at Universal City and get off at Hollywood Highland, and then I'd bike miles right around where you live is where I used to live, and it's crazy the bicycle ride home after you don't get a spot.
Oh yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I hear so many people say, "How do you start? How'd you start?" It's like the $1 million question. You get asked that all the time. Like, how do you even start something like that? And it's, it's going through that kind of ridiculous grind. And once you do a spot and you do good, you want more. And that's all for 3 minutes, by the way. So I said, what if we give everybody 1 minute and see how it goes? If I brought a funny friend on.
Because then that's a total of 4 minutes. So you've added an extra minute. You've added 25%
If they
more.
get a spot downstairs, and made it to the first, 15 people that signed up here, then they get a total of 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is 33% more work than they thought they were going to get tonight. So experimental, it's crazy. This whole thing can fucking explode at any given moment. There's no doubt about it. This thing has barely any structure whatsoever.
But I think you need to really tell people what the name of this podcast is, because there's a lot of content. I was at JCPenney's earlier, and I was looking at Twitter, and there was some controversy about the name, because a lot of people think you should change it to something else. What do you want it to be?
I'm pretty bendable at this point. I always thought that a decent name for a podcast would be Hinchcliffe's Notes, because it's a cool mix of like Cliff's Notes and.
It doesn't roll off the tongue though.
Well,
Hinchcliff Notes.
I'm pretty sure nothing with the word Hinchcliffe in it's going to roll off the tongue.
Unless you spell it out, which is a lot of what a lot of people on Twitter have. They think it should be H plus Inch Cliff plus E podcast.
H plus Inch Cliff plus E. That's how you spell it.
Right. But spell it out maybe, like Inch plus
H. It's not itch.
Itch.
There's not an itch in there. It's H plus Inch Cliff plus C. That's how I tell people to spell when they go, can you spell that out? All the time.
It seems like it's more confusing though. I remember like it took me like a month to figure out what you were talking about.
It's not more confusing.
Because I'm like H plus Inch Cliff plus E. Wait, what? Oh, he's spelling it, but all right, I see.
It's Inchcliffe with an H at the beginning and an.
Very.
I don't know.
Do you ever think about Hollywooding it up, like putting a red band to it, like having a Tony Baloney or something like that?
Tony Baloney, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, Tony Baloney.
Does that roll off the tongue?
That's perfect. If your name was really Tony Baloney.
What if we keep it untitled? And that's like
this is the pilot. That's what's good. This is the Tony Hinchcliffe pilot podcast. So this is when you figure out what you want this to be.
I have to decide right now?
No. By next Monday.
By next Monday.
At 8 p.m.
Cool. I got you. So thank you, everybody, for coming to episode 2 of Hinchcliffe's Notes, where me, a professional comedian and writer, and Red Band, and my guest every week, we try to help comedy in some way.
And you're sticking with the name Hinchcliffe Notes, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, here I am, everybody. Hello. It's good to be here. Here we are again.
Episode 3 of the Hinchcliffe Notes.
Heck yeah, a huge success. How's the crowd out there tonight? They're here. They're live in the flesh. It's actual people.
You did a weird thing today. You texted me something that I couldn't tell if you were just super, super or fucking with me.
I was super.
He's What did you say? You said, "Hey, I got a good idea. If you think it's a good idea, why don't we change the name to the podcast?"
Well, we never officially named. I wanted to name it Hinchcliffe's Notes. Then you started saying, "Well, it's a pilot, so you can change the name." And then I started thinking, well, I mean, now that that's in the air, maybe it's changeable.
Well, it's already episode 3 now.
Okay.
But your idea was like completely weird to me.
Well, it seemed weird. I was going to explain it more to you, but then we were just texting, and I'm like, I'm not going to call just to explain the thing.
Right.
But if we talk about it, somebody else is going to do it.
Right.
because it does have a thing. Because the kill in the thing would have meant that you were making me laugh.
I see. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was just random. He wanted to call it KillTony.
And like have a Kill Bill, have it be like Kill Bill themed, where I'd be like in a yellow suit with a sword and shit for its cover.
Yeah, I kind of
like
like
and in that Kill Bill font, because comedians are doing time, and if you make me laugh, that's pretty awesome.
That's actually a really good idea. Now that you explained it, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I know. I thought before you would just think that I was trying to be cool, like, hey, kill Tony, and then it would be like Kill Bill themed, just like something that would. But if you kill, what I meant, it means kill on stage, not like kill.
Right. Yeah, I was not even thinking that though.
Heck
Maybe if other people wouldn't get that either, unless you're like a hardcore comic or something like that. You know, if you just saw that podcast, you'd be like, "Kill Tony." I'm like, "What's that?"
But it does seem sort of edgy, you know.
It does.
Kill Tony.
It's
like,
easier
what would
to
that
say.
be about? Yeah, it's definitely easier to say. And it's definitely easier to spell. I mean, that's a huge deal with Hinchcliffe's notes. And there's an apostrophe in it. It's not really hashtagable. That's
I
what I've
say
been
Kill
thinking.
Tony's up there, man.
Really? What do you guys think? Hinchcliffe's notes or Kill Tony? Oh, really?
Well, that seems like it's it. Kill Tony.
From the beginning, Tony's mission has always been to help fellow comics succeed. You can see the same passion for their success in every episode. Sometimes people sign up just for fun without the serious intent of becoming a successful comedian. This often frustrates Tony because it detracts from the overall purpose of his podcast, which has always been about platforming starving comedians. The show's format is simple yet genius. Comedians only get 1 minute to make the audience laugh. Now, I'm no comedian and I've never tried to do stand-up, but I know this has to be hard. Anyone willing to go up there and try has my respect, especially since they're knowingly walking into the lion's den with Tony Hinchcliffe, one of the masters of roasting. After their set, Tony along with the guest judges give them honest feedback and conduct interviews, though it's usually in the form of them roasting the comedian and cracking jokes. These interviews are more than just a chat, they're usually a deep dive into what makes that comedian tick. Tony's questions can be challenging and unexpected, testing the comedian's quick thinking and versatility. It's like a masterclass in comedy right in front of us. Often these interviews can actually lead into some hilarious moments.
Okay. No, I'm not like a talented person. I'm kind of a loser, honestly. This is like I did my talented thing just a second ago. That was it. Like, I can do like 30 push-ups, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you can do 30 push-ups?
Yeah, not in a row.
I can do 30.
You can do 30?
You can do 30?
I've never done it, but I think I can.
Let's do it. The old Dirty 30 with Bobby Lee and Jason Rodriguez. 30 push-ups. Wait, Jason, you gotta do them too. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. He's dead, everybody. He's dead. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Kill Bobby.
Oh my god. That was amazing.
Oh my goodness. How about a hand for Bobby Lee, everybody?
Wow, that was so good.
Jason, you're
not
not
have
going to
guessed
get off that. Oh my God! Oh my God! 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Oh my God! Oh my God, the machine! Live on Kill Tony.
50 clean, baby.
Hell yes.
Shout out to Ways to Well. Testosterone's doing good.
Yeah.
I don't anymore, but that's cool.
Bert, the machine Kreischer, is joining the party, everybody. Red Band, do your 30, dude.
I'll do it in VR.
Oh, catch him doing it in virtual reality, everybody. There you go.
Should I try?
Whoa! No, you're
pregnant.
pregnant. You can't do it. We never got Jason to do his. You think you could do 30?
I don't want to do it.
This is one of the worst podcasting segments of all time. For those of you listening to the show, people are doing push-ups. And here we go. 1, 2,
It's not happening.
3.
It's not happening.
Oh, he's already slowing up. This is not looking good.
Does not look good.
He ain't building my furniture. I'll give him credit. He is going pretty far down.
You got it.
You got it, dude. You
Almost
got it.
there.
Got it. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Jason Rodriguez.
Oh my
Fun
God.
set. Great push-ups. You did fantastic, Jason.
Muchos gracias.
I would love to have you on the Secret Show Thursday.
Can
if you
I?
can.
Oh, look at
Thank
that.
you, Brian.
Oh.
They couldn't possibly push up your ceiling any higher. Jason, here's a Kill Tony joke book from the great Bonsai. There's Jason Rodriguez,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Now, some may argue that it's downright brutal and unnecessary, but what better way to find a true blood comedian? Comedy, after all, is all about pushing boundaries and taking conversations to places people don't typically like to go. It's the whole point of comedy, isn't it? What's really cool about Kill Tony is that it not only entertains, but it also educates. By watching how Tony and the judges analyze performances, again usually through roasting the comedian, we as the audience member actually learn what makes good comedy: timing, delivery, confidence. And all comedians know that getting torn down due to their bad set is a small price to pay for their chance to work with Tony and perform on one of the biggest comedy stages today. That's why every episode the bucket of destiny gets filled with more and more comedians. These comedians that are volunteering to perform watch Tony and his guests break down these comedians and tear them apart, but they know that it's part of the game, and that is, again, a small price to pay to be a regular on the show or even just perform on Kill Tony. Of course, the show hasn't been without controversy. There was a notable incident in May 2021 involving racial remarks made by Tony about comedian Pang Dang, which sparked a lot of discussions about boundaries in comedy. These moments are tough but important as they push us to think about the role of comedy in society. I'm sorry, but if you're in a comedy club and you get offended by anything said on stage, you probably shouldn't be there, especially if you are a comedian. If you're next up to go on stage and you get offended by something someone says, in my opinion, you don't deserve to be a comedian. You should know that in comedy, boundaries should be pushed. Pang Dang, in my opinion, probably used this as a launching pad. He probably saw an opportunity for him to try and capitalize and launch his career further. I feel like anyone purchasing a ticket to a comedy club should go in with the understanding that that might happen. It's a comedy club. Like I said, there should be no boundaries. I mean, have you seen comedy with boundaries? I would argue to say that it isn't comedy, or at least not in its truest form. Kill Tony has become a magnet for comedians from all over, eager to showcase their talent. We've seen a bunch of rising stars come out of the show, like William Montgomery, David Lucas, Hans Kim, and many others. It's honestly amazing to see how a single minute on this podcast can launch a career, and we watch these careers flourish right before our eyes. So if you haven't checked out Kill Tony yet, you're missing out on a real gem. It's more than just laughs. It's a vital part of the comedy world, helping us understand and appreciate what goes into making us laugh. Plus, it's a great reminder of the power of sticking to your dreams and pushing through challenges. Tony showed us firsthand in growing his show through the years and continues to show us as he helps those around him reach for the stars. Whether you're an aspiring comedian or just a fan of comedy, Kill Tony is a must watch. Thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know what your thoughts are about the show down below. Are you a fan? Do you think it's a little over the top? Please comment below and subscribe so we can all talk again real soon. Take care.